Adjust the frequency and volume a bit.
Startups, originators, musika, kultura, the arts, politika, sports, news, technology, crime, tragedy, comedy, lahat ng makabuluhan.
We are your independent podcast content creator, straight from the Philippine Islands. Mabuhay.
You're listening to Podcast.Ph.
Welcome to the 26th episode of Martin's Mancave on Podcast.Ph. You may listen to us through several ways, and one is by going to our official website, Podcast.Ph. You can also download us on iTunes. Just type Podcast.Ph programs, or go to our YouTube or SoundCloud.com accounts. Just type Podcast.Ph. Please add, like, or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Our guest today was known as the paper or stationery king before he ventured into the hybrid rice business, among many other businesses, which even made him more wealthy. But what is a revelation is his desire to help the needy farmers of this country. Dr. Lim was born on September 4, 1951 in Manila. His parents are Lim Seling and Maria Ko. He has 6 siblings, namely Joseph, Willie, Charlie, Jerry, Ruben, and Evelyn. He is married to Rita Ong, and they have 5 children, namely Michelle, Cherry, Christopher, Hazel, and Pauline. Currently chairman and chief executive officer of the Sterling Paper Group of Companies, which is a diversified super business engaged in manufacturing of paper products, importation and distribution of school and office supplies, furnitures, retailing, call center, real estate development, and agriculture. The group is comprised of the following corporations: Sterling Paper Products Enterprises Incorporated, Central Bookstore Incorporated, Expression Stationery Shop Incorporated, SB Properties Incorporated, SL Agritech Corporation, Sterling Global Call Center Incorporated, LSL Corporation, and SL Hybrid Rice Research Center Incorporated. Our guest finished his grade school at the Crusaders Academy, Manila, in 1963, and high school at the Letron College, Manila, in 1967. He took up his Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering at the University of the Philippines in 1972, and postgraduate executive courses at the Harvard Business School in 2003 up to 2005. He finished there the owner and president management program, and at the University of Asian Pacific in 1992 a program on strategic business economics. He also has a Doctor of Humanities honoris causa at the Foundation University in 2013, and he also received another one, a Doctor of Science at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines in 2014. Among the many awards our guest received are Most Promising Entrepreneur Award in 2014 by Enterprise Asia, finalist for Asia CEO Awards in 2013, The Bossing of 2011, Heroes of Business and Filipino Pride by PLDT SME Nation, Ulirang Ama, Sectoral Awardee for Business and Industry. That was back in 2009. Finalist for Entrepreneur of the Year, 2005 by Ernst & Young. And awardee in 2004, Silver Anniversary Award for Entrepreneurship category. And so many more awards. He headed the Lim family in the donation of more than 40 school buildings in Bulacan, Cavite, Cagayan, Isabela, Mindoro, Bohol, Davao Oriental, Laguna, as well as donations to the Philippine General Hospital and Orphanage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hybrid rice king himself, Dr. Lim Bonleong. Thank you so much for accepting our invite, sir, here on Podcast.Ph.
It's my honor, Martin.
Wow. Ang dami niyo pong sir. Ang dami niyo nagawa sa buhay ninyo, no? I mean, you've crossed from paper to call center, and now you're doing business which involves planting rice, and you're basically revolutionizing the rice industry in the Philippines. But before we get to that, we want to find out and we want to know where it all began. I want you to talk about your parents.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Martin. My parents, of course, my father came here when he was only 11 years old, together with my grandmother. My mother was born here, Tagapaco yun. And then she lives near the Palenque. That's why my mother's very well versed with our local dialect. And because I was born here, I used to stay in Malabon for a short while. And I still remember, I think, according to my mother, our neighbors were the Diaz family, the Gloria Diaz, and all these things. And then, of course, I moved to Binondo and spent around 10 years in Binondo, and then we moved to Caloocan. I've gone through so many stages. I studied in Chinese schools also, Crusaders Academy, Chiang Kai-shek, and then I went to Letran, UP. I think I'm a mixture of both Eastern and Western, of course. My Eastern, my Chinese heritage during my early years, and then, of course, the Western education.
So your father was born in China, and he moved to the Philippines. Was this during the Cultural Revolution in China?
No. It was very early. It was way back in 1938. I still remember that was the beginning of the Chinese-Japanese War. And then, my father has 8 brothers. So there are 8 in the family. All of them are boys. And my grandmother was saying, in China, if there's a war, everybody
fights.
Will have to be a reserve troops. And then my grandmother said, look, all of me are boys. No? All of them will be recruited, no? And none is going to be. So it took some of them, and they came to the Philippines. That's where my father started here in the Philippines.
So yung kasama ng father mo, yung
the other siblings are also here. Yeah,
the other siblings are also here. And then when your father came to the Philippines, what was his first job? What did he do? How did he become, or was he as successful as you are?
Well, actually, my father came here and he studied also in some Chinese school here. But my father was only able to finish only up to high school. I think second year or third year high school, and then there was the Japanese War. And then in the war, everybody runs, whatever. I think my father also got to Lucena or even up to places in Mindoro to hide. And after the war, my father started, I think he was at that time was only 21 years old. And he has a savings of around 5,000 pesos. So with some friends, he was able to put up a small bookstore in Binondo. It was a Chinese bookstore in Binondo. And we cater to the Chinese community, and my father would travel to Shanghai to buy magazines, books, even long-playing records at that time, the Chinese song here, and sell it in Binondo. And then, at that time we have a modest store already in Ompin. I was kidding my father a number of times. I said, Dad, do you know that you cater to the wrong market? At that time when my father was putting up that central bookstore in Binondo, I think Mrs. Ramos was also starting her national bookstore. I said, look, if you cater to the Filipino market, maybe we'll be as big as national bookstore. But I think we cater to the wrong market because the Chinese, not the population, but those studying Chinese is getting lesser and lesser. But then we started with a very modest bookstore, and then because of the Retail Liberalization Act of Magsaysay, President Magsaysay, the Chinese cannot do retail business. So my father decided to go into manufacturing. That's how Sterling Paper came about.
So it's your father who started it all, and what was the participation of your mother?
My mother is a housewife, but my mother is the best plant manager we ever had. When we started to do manufacturing, we just hired two mates. The first product that we came out was a photo albums. And then the photo albums, before we had to use also photo corners, just a black paper with some glass in. So my mother was leading 2 or 3 of the mates to just manufacture photo albums. Of course, we blossomed into around 45 workers, 50 workers, and so many workers later on. And my mother was still the plant manager. She was the one in charge of the production. The best plant manager.
The best plant manager. And then most of your siblings, are they involved in this Sterling group of companies, or have you bought them out?
No. This is still a family business.
Okay, all right.
My mother and my parents prohibit us. We cannot even sell out to any third party outsiders. No, it has to remain within the family.
Wow. No. What are the values and the principles that your parents left you?
You know, I'm being the eldest. Of course, my father passed away quite young. I mean, he was only 49 years old when he passed away.
Wow.
That was in 1976.
And he passed away?
Suddenly. I mean, it's on a business trip in Hong Kong. I mean, he has pneumonia, and then, of course, in a matter of a few days, he passed away in Hong Kong. So, you know, he did not leave any words whatever with us. And at that time, I'm the eldest in the family. And, of course, I finished my college already and was around 23 or 24 years old. And my second brother, Joseph, was just freshly graduated also from UP. So we have to take up the colleges now. Of course, my mother at that time was so sad. That's why all the responsibility rests upon my shoulder. And my father...
1972.
1976.
76.
And you know that... I do not know if you believe in what we call as... you know, my father left without saying a word to us. I mean, at that time it was martial law. I mean, my father was able to obtain exit permit to go abroad. All of us are here. And then, you know, I have a brother who is very gifted, who can have spirits from the other world.
Wow. Was it a third eye?
And then, you know, my father came through him to speak to us 1 month after he passed away.
And what
and
did
then
he say?
left us with 4 family values that he said that we should always remember that, and we have to put it into, of course, foundations of our business. Of course, the first word was loyalty. I mean, you have to be loyal to your commitment. Of course, loyalty to the country's commitment, and I think maybe that also included loyalty to your spouses also.
I knew you were going to say that. All right, loyalty to everyone.
Maybe also for those people working to you, loyalty to your bosses. And the second one is really obedience, filial piety. I mean, you have to really respect the elders, and then take care also of the youngest. That's also very important. So you have loyalty, obedience, and then the third is patience. You have to got patience. Even if people spits at you or whatever, you just remain patient, and then you just one step backward. I mean, everything's going to be okay. So that's patience. The last word was really generosity or magnanimity. So that's why we donated school buildings. We give out so many things also to the orphanage, to the Philippine General Hospital, and that is what my father taught us to do. And I'll repeat it again. It was it's loyalty, obedience, patience, and generosity. This has been our guiding principle. No?
So this is the reason why you've been going around the country and been helping the farmers improve their productivity.
Yes, absolutely. I mingle with the farmers. I mean, I am more recharged going outside, especially together with the farmers. At one time, I mean, when we were doing this harvest festival, there was a lady farmer who came to me, and then he embraces me. And then I said, "Oh,
a lady farmer."
A lady farmer, sabi ko, may asawa ka na ba? Meron na daw. Uy, baka habulin akong itak ng mister mo. And then the husband was actually standing nearby. You know, the husband came over, also embraces me, and both of them embraces me. I mean, that's where you feel that you are being recharged. That there are farmers who are really they feel so thankful now because of what you are doing, improving the standard of living, increasing the production.
Some of our listeners may not know this, the first time to have heard your name, but Mr. Henry Lim Bonleong is one of the main advocates of hybrid rice in this country. And he runs Agritech, right? Agritech.
SL actually is an initial of my father.
SL, yeah.
Agritech.
Agritech. And we will be discussing that more later on. Let's talk about your wife. Where did you meet your wife? She's Ko, so she.
No, my mother's Ko.
Oh, your
but
mother's Ko. Oh, yeah.
My wife's is Ong.
Ong.
Yeah.
So your wife was born here in the Philippines, or
Yes, in Apari, Cagayan.
Apari, Cagayan, and full Chinese, full-blooded Chinese.
Yes, full Chinese, but looks like a Filipino. Yeah.
What is her involvement in your business?
Actually, during the early years, I mean, all the wives were involved in business, and then as it passes through, and then my
improves.
you know, we used to stay together in a compound in Caloocan, and then my mother was telling us, everybody has to grow up. You have to move out. Your children is also growing up, and then that's why my mother said, okay, all the wives will be dedicated only to household chores, taking care of the children and all these things. So all the wives were removed from business now, and they are full housewives.
Once the business becomes, I suppose, successful, pag umasenso na, pag kaya na ng bulsa, then pwede nang bumalik yung misis sa bahay.
Yeah, we have to hire professionals already at the moment.
All right. Okay. How do you run your business? Is this involving your kids as well, or do you let them run their own businesses? And hindi, ikaw, or papel ka, ikaw dun sa rice, ikaw sa call center, etc. Paano ba yan, sir? Ano bang dynamic sa Chinese family?
I have a lot of siblings now, but only we used to be 4 running the business because one of them is a doctor, and then when I lost one of my brother to an accident, so right now it's only 3. And since I'm the eldest now, I mean I'm the patriarch, and of course I assume the chairmanship and CEO of the group. And I have a brother who's in charge of our retail outlets, with 20 plus department stores in the north, Mart 1 and MI department store with.
We're talking about Sterling?
We're talking the Sterling Paper Group. Yeah.
The Sterling Paper Group, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
It's a family corporation among the siblings. Yeah.
And the products is, of course, you used to have a Sterling bookstore here, and I used to see one. Or no. Sterling paper, yung binibili ko ng grade school.
Sterling notebook, yeah.
Oh, notebook. Oh,
yes,
yun ang binibili ko. So you have a retail shop in the
yes,
provinces.
we have Expressions outlets, around 45 Expressions outlets. Yeah.
Bumibili ako ng card doon sa girlfriend ko. Bumibili sa Expression.
Yes.
Okay, so how is this business right now? How is Expressions doing? I remember, I think, if I'm not mistaken, parang did you have a PBA basketball player who modeled, or was it Mikey Kuwang or somebody back in the 80s? Basta. Anyway, Expressions.
Yeah.
Was it Mikey Kuwang or Chris Aquino? Sino ba yun?
I forgot, we used a lot of endorsements at that time. Even our jingle was composed by Joe Marichan.
Joe Marichan. Yes, that's right. And your main business now is the rice. Kasi doon kita nakikita
Yeah, but of course, Sterling Paper is a flagship company. Of course, the rice came very much later. No, that was way back in, 1998.
So, okay, let's put things into like proper structure. No, let's talk about your children. Everything, all of your children are involved in business.
Yes, and no. Of course, my second daughter, she finished her master's in Yale, and then of course the husband is a doctor of medicine. So then they stays right now. He used to work in Cleveland Clinic. Right now he's with Tampa, Florida, with a hospital there. So my second daughter is there, but my eldest daughter is helping me. My son is also helping me.
So yung isang anak mo nasa abroad.
Yes.
Kasi Yale, she must be very intelligent to have gone to that Ivy League school.
She's an Ateneo graduate. Of course, I came from UP, but unfortunately none of them graduated from UP. Two from Ateneo, 3 from LaSalle.
Oh nga sir, kayo you're a very successful Chinese businessman, and you finished at UP.
I'm a Filipino-Chinese.
Filipino-Chinese.
Filipino, yeah.
A Filipino-Chinese businessman, and finished in UP. I'm just curious, how come there are no Filipino or any businessman nag-graduate sa UP na hindi tinutulungan yung basketball team ng UP. Are you even considering to help them? At least win a championship ring? Kasi ang feeling ko, ang kulang doon, pondo eh.
I think UP has a lot of budget. No, when I was in UP, one of the favorite players, Fort Acuna. In engineering, Fort was around 2 years senior than me. And then can you imagine during important games? I mean, they still have to take exams. They cannot get exempted or whatever. I mean, as long as UP put their importance in academics, I don't think the sports will really excel. No, I think the only time that UP was able to do when the UP was when Benji Paras and Maxano, whatever, was the players there. But after that, it's no more.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a matter of pondo, no, or businessman trying to support. It's a matter of the policy of the university.
Kasi sir, most of the good players, they get courted by LaSalle and Ateneo and UST and all
recently by NU, no, of course. With
NU, with Mr. C's, what do you call that, sports program, and it has created an UAAP champion. It has created Bobby Ray Parks. It has produced the cheering squad, that made it that became champion this year, no? So it must be really in the program, no?
I think if the schools are being run by businessmen like SM, like Henry C. Senior, Hansi, I mean, that basketball is a way of how you also translate as advertising also. I mean, people, you will attract more students out to your school with a very strong basketball team. But since UP is not in the business of attracting more students, it's very hard to enter into UP. During our time, it's 1 out of 20. Right now, I think still 1 out of 13. So I don't think, unless they change the policy, you have to ask the president of UP right now if they want to change the policy.
All right, let's go back to your life. So you finished grade school in Manila, and then high school, and then you went to UP, and you ran the business at the age of 28 when your father passed on.
23, 24.
23 when your father passed on, the very early, at the very young age, and you were already taking the helm of the Sterling company. Hindi pa group of companies yun. Sterling pa lang, no?
Sterling paper.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, how is the business doing now, considering that everything is digital? Like we have the cell phones, we have the computer, we have a Kindle where you can read a book. How is the paper business now, and what made you decide to venture into other businesses like the real estate and the call center, and of course now the hybrid rice? But before you answer those questions, let's play one of your favorite songs. This is "Love Me Tender" by Elvis Presley. What makes this one of your favorite songs?
Elvis Presley was during my time, and that "Love Me Tender," I think it's easy to sing and it's easy to remember, and it's easier for you to express your girlfriend.
And who was that girlfriend? I guess that's the question. Who was that girlfriend who you dedicated the song to? All of them?
Definitely. My wife is not my first girlfriend.
Yeah. So all of them, para safe. Elvis Presley and "Love Me Tender." You're still listening to Podcast.Ph. This is the program called Martin's Man Cave. My name is Martin Andanar, and together with us right now is Dr. Henry Lim Bonleong, the chairman of the Sterling Group of Companies, including the Agritech. Was it S?
SL. Selling is the name of my father.
Selling.
SL, Agritech Corporation.
Agritech Corporation, which produces hybrid rice seeds. Here it is. "Love Me Tender." "Love Me Tender" by Elvis Presley is dedicated to all the girls that Mr. Henry Lim have loved before. Now, of course, to your wife, one and only, right?
Yes. Loyalty. Yeah.
Loyalty is number one. Loyalty, obedience. I'm trying to remember.
Patience.
You told me already. Patience, generosity, right? I'm trying to remember that. All right. So the question earlier was, you ran the business at the age of 23, 24. You were so young by then, and
even when I was in high school, I was already helping the family.
Yes, exactly.
Business.
And then you took up your undergraduate course at the University of the Philippines, but your father graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. So basically, he learned everything by himself, and he was running the business. Do you think it would have been differently ran, or it would have been more difficult to expand it when your father, if your father were alive and you were still running it? Kasi syempre, School of Hard Knocks yun, ikaw galing ka sa UP.
No, Martin, do you know that during my high school days, my senior days, my father actually was convincing me very, very hard to take up economics at that time.
Okay.
Because at that time, economics professors earn so much money per hour, and then they are being looked upon with prestige. And my father said, "Oh, took up economics because he's not really a college graduate." And you know what I told my father? I told my father that economics, that's only supply and demand. I mean, there's no challenge there. Okay, you take up marketing since you are in business. So we go marketing. So that's only buy and sell. Parang sa palengke lang, buy and sell, marketing yun eh. O management na lang. Management, that's only what? No lang eh. It's not even rocket science, just simple, just ano lang yan. Sabi ko, it's really no challenge, no. It's just common sense. I mean, so I took up engineering. That's the most difficult course in UP. Mechanical at that time.
So did it even help you in the business? In the factory siguro?
To tell you frankly, Martin, after I graduated mechanical engineering, do you know I cannot even interpret a balance sheet? There's no accounting course in marketing. Okay. In engineering, I'm sorry. I have to take up accounting for non-accountants. That's why after I graduated from UP, I find a lot of lacking in doing business, and then even management like personal management. I always stand by here you'll find me from 6 o'clock up to 8 o'clock in Padre Faura in Ateneo. At that time, Ateneo was still in Padre Faura.
Wow.
I took up all the small courses that Ateneo was offering at that time. In fact, I even took up Del Carnegie at one time. And that's how you enrich yourself. And I read a lot of books. I have a lot of idol also. My first idol at that time was Akio Morita, actually, of Sony.
Walkman?
Then, because of his Sony transistor radio, Walkman, and all these things. Later on, I think Matsushita, Konosuke Matsushita, Panasonic is even better than Morita, because he's only an elementary graduate, and he was able to expand his business even beyond audio, visual. He's in air conditioning, almost all electronics. And of course, along the way, you find so many idols there that you are, it's so, I never think about Steve Jobs before. But one night, when I returned back home, I saw two of my daughters very sad, actually. I said, "Why are you looking so sad?" He said, "Dad, do you know Steve Jobs just passed away today?" So I said, "So what's that got to do with you?" And then the next morning, when I saw in the newspaper, I saw a lot people paying homage to Steve Jobs. So I start trying to look at the lives of Steve Jobs, and I find a lot of commons among me and Steve Jobs. Of course, Steve Jobs is really an entrepreneur, true and true. I'm also an entrepreneur. I've been going around. I mean, I've been invited by LaSalle Graduate School, Ateneo, to talk about entrepreneur business and even AIM. So I said, what's an entrepreneur? I mean, I'm an entrepreneur through and through. I can never be a good professional manager. Nobody's going to hire me to become